All right, welcome everyone, and thank you for a special edition of the Fwoosh Cast, what we are calling the post-Hasbro Fan Festival Fwoosh Cast, and there's nothing like a ton of new Marvel Legends reveals to bring us back online to have a discussion. But I've got to say, even in the craziness of the world right now, it is so great to be here chatting with the fellas again. We have the Hasbro Marvel team, Dan, Dwight, and Ryan. And gentlemen, it's so nice to talk to you guys again. How's it going? How are you keeping right now?
Tired, but no, tired and energized. We're psyched to recap the Fan Fest reveals and answer any questions. And yeah, that's what it's all about, really, in this kind of new day and age where we're all stuck at home. We get amped up for these big events, right? And the aftermath.
Yeah, and we have a chance to do stuff like this, which is something new in the world that we're going through. And you know, Dwight, I don't think that it would have been possible on your bingo card of new things that we could have experienced during a pandemic year that your drapery would have been such a focus of conversation. But the action figure collector world can be a weird place.
Yes, it most certainly can be. But you know, hey, if I just figured if I could keep them focused on my drapes long enough, maybe they wouldn't razz me about the toys. So you know.
Oh, you underestimate.
It'll play out in the history of toy, but I'll take it.
The next HasLab is just like pieces of his drapes. That's all.
I was gonna say if the first live event, your guys' shirts are
the ring or a jersey in it, yeah.
Swatches.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, well, the action figure community can be a weird place, but it can be a wonderful place. And where I wanted to start was with, you know, literally the biggest project that you guys are working on right now is that you guys gave us an update to the progress of the HasLab Sentinel. And it had been a while since we had seen an update, but you guys got to show off some new features, electronic features, and the packaging art. And it made me wonder, you know, what's the biggest difference or maybe the biggest challenge that has been bringing this bad boy to life as far as development goes that's different from a regular Marvel Legend or a Marvel Legend series?
I'll speak for the development side of the product, and I'll let Ryan Dan take their side. For me, it was the engineering of it. The design of it was no different than any typical figure. You know, you had to figure out articulation layouts and then part breaks, and then, you know, obviously focusing on finding the right pieces of reference to inspire the design. But the torque and tension that's on a figure of this size when you're playing with its knees and hips is way different than when you're dealing with something that you have to grab with two full hands to move. So there was a lot more engineering development concerns. Super high praise to our engineering teams here in the US as well as ours in HFE, because both of them had a monstrous task to figure out fracture under the stress of such large moving hinges that had so much leverage that could be applied to them. So that's been the biggest challenges from my side of the development.
I think just from the business side of it, it was scary doing a crowdfund, to be honest with you, for the first time. I mean, the Sail Barge and Unicron preceded us, and they were both ultimately successful, but those teams were sweating bullets for a while, and they had, like all projects, it had its ups and downs. So we were very fortunate that it ended up working out. The support was tremendous off the bat, so that kind of gave us a little more confidence, I think, which we're carrying forward. And the HasLab, the teams doing HasLabs are always learning from each other. I think Razor Crest took several things from us and improved on it, and then we're looking at Razor Crest and being like, and learning from them too. So it just kind of gets better and better. And then I'll just say, looking back, all's well that ends well. But it was about a year ago now where we were getting ready to launch the crowdfund, and we were all still adjusting to working from home. It's not the way that I think the team wanted to launch Sentinel. We wanted to be at Comic-Con. We wanted people to see this glorious diorama of a Sentinel battling all these X-Men and really getting up close before you decided to, purchase it. But that wasn't possible. So we had to just adapt and do what we did. And fortunately, it worked out. We're kind of, that was a year ago, and we're still kind of in more or less the same place, but at least we've adapted to that, and we got a better grip on how to go about the marketing side of it, I would say.
I mean, Oh, go ahead, Dwight. My bad.
Oh no, I was going to be stupid. I mean, I have like literally 300 skulls in my office right now that I don't know what to do with, because it was supposed to be the remnants of 300 dead mutants scattered across a destroyed mansion. That's how it was. That's how the Sentinel was supposed to be delivered to you guys in all of its glory at Comic-Con. And now I just have bags of skulls just sitting in my office that I don't know what to do with.
I swear they're toys, sir. That's all. They're not real.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, ultimately, we want to say thank you again. We haven't said it enough, but it couldn't have been possible without everybody, especially like people who are in the Fwoosh, making the Sentinel possible. So I've already said it before, but save your cash for the next HasLab, because I'm very competitive. If we don't beat Razor Crest, I'm gonna get mad pissed. So we'll see what happens. Help us, support us, and just save your cash for the next one.
Well, we're gonna get to that for sure. But I'm not sure if you guys mentioned, or if you can, are we still tracking for kind of a late summer, early fall delivery on this guy?
Yeah, so we've been saying they'll start shipping in August, depending on how many pieces you ordered and kind of where you are. I guess the actual fulfillment date might vary, but it will start in August. So when we say August in the toy industry, that was typically tied to planogram sets. So we call August fall, but that's not really how the calendar works. So it's not going to be fall like Thanksgiving fall, right? It's going to be late summer, kind of early fall, I'd say.
Cool. Really looking forward to it, and finding a place to put it back there is going to be a fun challenge for sure. But okay, well, if we can pivot a little bit, then you guys were able to show off a full new wave of Marvel Legends, and this one is very Iron Man centric, and I've got to say that getting a shot at the Stealth Iron Man, which is by far one of my favorite Iron Man variations, I guess. I really love the paint scheme on that. It's like, oh yes, it's mostly blue, but from the photography, it looks like there's a lot of different shifts and subtle, changes in the color and the red, repulsors and things like that. What's the challenge, Dwight, of making a mostly monochromatic figure like that really stand out the way that this one does?
I think, it's dialing in the coloring, so it doesn't look cheap or pedestrian. And that has been one of the most Herculean challenges of COVID. It's like to not be as entwined with our model shop as we've been typically. When you have something that doesn't look right, or if you have a question, you just walk half a football field down, and you're able to talk to everybody you need to, and you're able to get out your paint books, get out paint chips, get the paints, and really hand touch the sample of whatever it is and make sure it's exactly to spec, exactly what you want. This whole year of specking colors, having those colors translated into a computer, having that interpreted by an artist somewhere in some city close to you but not right next to you, and then sent back to you, has been an absolute nightmare. We've worked so hard, and the teams work so well to try to come together, and I think we've come a massive way, speaking to you now today, as opposed to where we were last March when we all said, peace out, see you guys sometime. For 6 months it was agony. It was absolute agony. But everybody really stepped up, put a lot of effort in, and we really tried to figure out ways to bring all these things to life. And every one of us has faced, in some way this year, and figuring out how we can figure out not necessarily better, but new ways to work together. It's like, I don't think anything's better, but it's just different, right? It's like, and some of those differences are good and some of them are bad, but it's all just a whole new world of where we've become, and who knows where we're going to go 6 months from now. But that was the biggest challenges. But I think I'm very pleased with those 2 tones of blues, because his armor is about 2 different shades of blues, and then, like you said, the reds. But it's a really I don't know, sophisticated color palette with the 2, and I'm really pleased with it. It took a while to get there, but I'm glad you like it as well, especially since you like that armor so much.
I will say that you could have probably packaged just about anything in this series, because the Build-A-Figure is what gets me more than anything, and I couldn't believe it, and I'm absolutely thrilled. What made this glorious man bear with abs, Ursa Major? What made it his time to go into this assortment? Because I know a lot of people were guessing a completely, you know, logical but different direction, and then boom, giant man bear.
It was working with Dan and Ryan on that to come up with the right pick, because we had talked about doing other things. We wanted a more classic Crimson Dynamo, but with Crimson Dynamo becoming the Mark, was it Mark 1? One of the early versions of Crimson Dynamo becoming the Build-A-Figure for the Black Widow wave, we're like, fans will be pissed off at us if we come back out with another Crimson Dynamo too quickly. And then we're like, all right, where else can we go? Titanium Man. And then Marvel Select announced their Titanium Man, and we're like, okay, once again, we can go there, and you know, and we're never afraid to go toe to toe with a competitor, because we obviously think we can always do a better job. I mean, that's why we're all competitive, right? But we're like, well, let's give that one a little bit of a space, and then we were like, well, what's something different? What's something unexpected? Because if everything else armors, what is something that you wouldn't think about? And then with the three of us and with our engineers and some other friends, we kind of came to this weird giant furry bear man with abs.
Well, it's a great pick, and I got to say that it moved Grizzly and probably like Armadillo and other animal characters like that way up to the top of my Build-A-Figure want list. That's for sure.
Oh, I think you'll definitely see a Grizzly at some point with a handful of new parts and pieces. I think that's a predestined, wouldn't you say, guys?
Pretty sure, yeah.
Well, okay. Another figure in that assortment is Ultron, and Ultron has had quite the road in Marvel Legends, from bunny versions to off-model versions and whatnot, but we're finally getting this clean, iconic, classic version of Ultron, and he ticks off a long-standing need in the line. So I wonder, now that he was kind of the teaser figure for this, and you've had some time to live with him out there, amongst everybody, who do you think has moved up kind of to the top of the list of that, gosh, we've never had the perfect or a good version of this character in the line? I mean, the right answer is Dr. Bong, but I didn't know if you guys had, a different take on this, because you might not be able to see him. That original Toy Biz Marvel Legends 1 Toad is the longest standing figure in my Marvel collection right now, and it seems like he would be a good choice. But what from your guys' perspective, what's up there now?
Yeah, Toad's a great one. We're aware of that. So yeah, at some point, right, we got to complete that classic Brotherhood team. Who else is out there that that could use an update? I don't know. We've been doing a lot of them, from your MODOKs to your Ultrons and things like that, and it's just finding the balance. I think a lot of people will say, oh, the Toy Biz one is better, or is my preferred version, and yeah, we're not trying to take away from any of those. Like, a lot of those are iconic and will always be. They're just not as accessible to people, and they're of the time, right? Those are early 2000s. It's a different era with the pinless this and the photoreal that and everything. So we're just trying to like mix and match as best we can.
Toad's going to be 20 before you know it.
I think with Ryan, you nailed on something about the accessibility too. And just even to dive even deeper into that, there's some great figures out there from the past still that are amazing to have on your shelves. But just because you and I have them, because we might have been collecting 22, 25 years ago, doesn't mean that, I know, don't tell our wives, but it doesn't mean that there's not thousands more who've got into these universes over the last 5 to 10 years, who've never had the opportunity to pick up that Toy Biz MODOK, Toy Biz Giant Man, Toy Biz Mojo, right? Some of their big, crazy, weird Build-A-Figures that they've done in the past that are, I mean, we've done versions of some of them. Like, we gave you a theatrical Giant Man, and we did a Giant Man that was in the Marvel Universe line. Was that the last one we did? I think that was classic. So that's kind of Legends. That's Legends Light, but we haven't done like a proper one of those. We've never touched Mojo. He'd be awesome to to update it. As far as the standard figures go, I think you're spot on with Toad. We definitely have talked about that, and we know that we have to get a Toad out there in the line. You know, looking at your shelf behind you, you got the Watcher up there on the top.
Yeah.
You know that one, definitely needs to go. I think we did a great job with our man thing a few years back, right? So kind of taking, so those are, I don't know, those are a handful of the ones that I would like to see us tackle at some point in the future. And I'm totally using your wall as a cheat sheet because it's so much easier just to look what's behind you as to try to remember whatever is in my brain.
Well,
like even for me, like I'm a pretty new work collector, and I missed out on a couple of classic ones that even were from like older Hasbro. Like I missed out on Blob, I missed out on like Fing Fang, like, you know what I mean? So like those are all characters that I personally would love to, and I hope we have another shot at that as well.
Yeah. Well, it's no lie, the Fantastic Four is my favorite, Marvel team. So seeing those being able to be, opened up a little bit with the work that you guys have been doing is exciting to me for new characters. But, Ryan, I probably throw this at you then. The vintage smaller scale figures. I was really thrilled to see Sue Storm, the Invisible Woman, in that assortment. And man, we're going to be getting back to live conventions and things like that. So I got to tell you, I'm going to hold you to the rest of that Fantastic Four core team in that line, because it's exciting it's exciting to be excited about something that doesn't usually fit into your wheelhouse, I would say. And I think you guys are doing some really exciting stuff with that smaller scale stuff and the packaging that goes along with it.
Yeah, that's been a really fun thing to work on. We pitched that idea years ago, and it wasn't the right time, and then all of a sudden it was, and we had to just build it from the ground up, working, Tony Colella helped out a lot on that, and then Ben Grimes, of course, on packaging, working with John Tyler Christopher, who does all the art. And so it's just really been kind of a passion play for us too, and different than your standard 6-inch development, and really opened up the new types of characters to do. And after you saying that, Nick, reminded me of like the Walgreens Fantastic Four 6-inch Legends. The first one out of the gate was Sue, right? And then I believe the second one was Johnny, and then the next year. So hey, maybe we'll follow that plan in the 375 scale too.
Well, I'm definitely looking forward to that for sure. So they look great, and it's cool to get the the blue and white. My favorite's the black and blue version, but the blue and white, that's fun to get as well. And then keeping with the Fantastic Four, then you guys saved it for the last, the one that got me to throw my hands on the side of my head and go, oh man, is this next HasLab collaboration. And I'm not gonna press you guys for time, because I imagine you want to get the Sentinel delivered and all that before that, but I got a friend here who's going to be getting real jealous of some stature in the not too distant future. Or I got to say, I'd love to be able to drive a fantastic car myself too. So I can't wait to see what you guys have got cooking for the next HasLab. I'm really glad that it's coming up so quickly, and the fact that it's Fantastic Four really makes me excited. So you guys have a little bearing on when we're going to learn more about that yet?
So you like that teaser video then?
Oh yeah. Well, it's driving me crazy too, because my mind is going in all kinds of directions.
Yeah, so I think we've been saying today that we will have an update on the next HasLab before the Sentinel ships. So we won't have to wait for the Sentinel to get completely out there. Couple of months time.
Celebrating the 60th anniversary for Fantastic Four, so it might not just be the HasLab that you'll be celebrating for Fantastic Four. You know what I mean?
I've got some space up there that I left to be able to expand in anticipation of more Fantastic Four stuff, so I'm ready for it.
The whole year is wrapping around that floating head that was in the Future Foundation in that jar. So that's what everything is going to be focusing on next year.
Well, good, because that brings me to my last question then, because I know you guys are pressed for time, and you've got a lot going on and you're busy. And Dwight, just because we're not in person, I feel like I've got to ask you this question, because I talk to you about this every time that I get to see you in person. And with the Fantastic Four bent that looks like we're hopefully headed towards, why you got to keep me waiting on those Inhumans still so much, man?
Technical difficulty sign, just set it in front of my thing when
Oh,
it comes.
I know.
was that
Oh,
me?
there you go.
I'm sorry, guys.
Okay.
So I guess I dropped that whole question, huh?
Yeah, we had some sort of Fantastic Four cosmic intervention that just broke it all up.
The cosmic gods don't want me to give you a hard time about, you know, making me continue to wait on those Inhumans, because that's where I was going. But I'm going to keep my fingers crossed for this Fantastic Four focus coming up, you know, in the next year.
Yeah, no, I think we got some room to explore some Inhuman type stuff in the lines going forward. We got, you know, it's a big year for the Fantastic Four. We'll have other cosmic adventures coming with the movies.
Yeah.
So you know that, you know, when the movies go cosmic, that gives us an opportunity to explore comic stuff, even if that's not related to the movies. You know, so that, you know, that could be the ability to get some Inhumans and stuff out there. I mean, we've had Black Bolt and Medusa. You know, I mean, they're a nice couple and all, and I'm sure they're happy because at least they have each other. But you know,
She's got to
they're
have
missing
somebody
a
that
lot
she
of.
can actually talk to.
She can hang out with the mini Lockjaw, the 3 3/4 mini Lockjaw.
I didn't think about that. Poor Medusa's just been staring at this guy for all those years. Oh yeah.
Oh, well, all right. Sorry, I had to needle you about that last one, but guys, congratulations, great job on Friday, and I'm looking forward to the next one. You know, I know everybody's probably going to be asking, you know, when's the next one for around San Diego time or whatever, but I'm looking forward to it and seeing updates on, you know, Fan Fridays and whatever else with you guys. You've really made a go of it with the challenges of this year. So thank you very much, and good show. And I'm just looking forward to what's next and happy to be along for the ride.
Thank you as well for supporting us, buddy. It's good to see you, even in this in this way.
Yeah. Looking forward to Toy Fair 2022. Hopefully we can make it happen, right?
And keep carrying the torch for Dr. Bong. Don't let us forget.
Oh, yeah, I won't shut up about that, I promise. All right, guys, thank you very much and have a good afternoon, all right?
All right, take it easy.
You.
Thank you.